I'm a Leo moon in the 10th house. I'm supposed to make a YouTube channel. It's literally what I was born for, you know? I am a hobby queen. I'm a hobby queen, okay? I love my hobbies. I have a lot of hobbies. I'm always busy. Actually, I'm not promising anything. Sorry. I'm 31. I would say I'm a young 31. But I just have this thing of like, if I acknowledge my shortcomings before other people and it's not perfect and I just go ahead and acknowledge that, then it like prevents other people from criticizing me. Okay. Had to turn that down to a gentle simmer. Yeah, I know I'm a hot mom. Sorry. Can't help it. And I love my body. So let's just put that out there. I love my body and I love how I look. I don't think that should be insane to say. Okay, I think I'm good with that. Hello. My name is Morgan. This is my YouTube channel. I've been wanting to start a YouTube channel since 2017. So yeah, I'm finally starting it. Can you believe it? While I'm talking, I need to be doing something instead of just talking at the camera. I think this brand, this is not sponsored. LOL, this is my first video, like it's sponsored, that'd be insane. This brand is like Mooncat. I think that's the name. I can't quite remember, and it's just a symbol, which is very Illuminati. It's just a symbol on the nail polish. So I think it's Mooncat though. I think it's like a small nail polish brand. My sister got me onto it and I love them so much. So I'm gonna paint my nails while I talk. I've been wanting to start a YouTube channel for a really long time and I've just been putting it off and off and off. Why have I been putting it off and off and off? I don't really know. No, I do know, actually. I do know. And the reason for that is because I'm terrified. It's because I'm really scared and I'm afraid of failure and I'm afraid of rejection and I'm afraid of, you know, people hating me. I'm afraid of people hating my guts, which is a risk that you take when you start a YouTube channel. I have found as I get older, like, I really need to be internally motivated of doing things that I just want to do. And I just want to start a YouTube channel and I don't really care what anyone thinks. And it's like, I just want to do that and I'm just going to do it. Why am I starting a YouTube channel? Because like in my creative life, there have been certain things that I keep returning to, really just in my life. I mean, I feel like I know fairly well my soul's purpose. And it's a couple of things because I keep returning to these things like throughout my whole life. Those things are writing. I love expressing myself through writing. Sewing and the creative outlet of like making your own clothes and of fashion and of expressing yourself in that way. Nature. And that means both being in nature, being surrounded by nature, creating nature. Like I made a shrimp tank that's a fully enclosed ecosystem and I can see it from here. I need to put water in it, but like just being surrounded by nature is important to me, and also protecting that nature and helping, you know, us enact environmental legislation I think is super important. This is for my creative expression and sharing these things that I care so passionately about with other people. And if they like it, amazing. If they don't, that's fine. I'll start with each of them one by one. The first one's writing. I do have a Substack. It's called Letters to Bubs and Girly. Who are Bubs and Girly? My children. Yes. I have 2 children. I know I'm like a really young 31. My children are 4 and 3. Yeah, I know I'm a hot mom. Sorry, can't help it. No, I love them so much. The history of the reason I'm writing letters, basically that's all my Substack is just I just write letters. Substack is I just write letters to my kids. The reason I do that is because my dad, his mom died when he was 9 years old in the 1970s of hepatitis C. And he came home one day and she was dead. And he never really knew her. I mean, he knew her because he was 9, so he has like some memories of her, but he didn't really know her. And that makes me infinitely sad. And the idea of my kids, the idea of me dying and then my kids having no idea who I am makes me so sad that I'm actually motivated to tell them who I am via letters. Even though they're only 4 and 3, they're not going to read them anytime soon. For the past year, I've had a Substack. I don't write consistently, but I do write. And I think I'm a decent writer. Actually, I think I'm a really good writer. I think if I keep working at it, I think I'll become an amazing writer, actually. So that's the writing. And one thing that I want to do on this YouTube channel is read those letters. And mainly that's just for my kids, but I think that the messages and the letters and the writing people might enjoy too. And if they don't, fine. But if they do, I think it could be a meaningful thing. And I also hope that it would inspire other parents to write letters to their kids too, because as a kid who has parents, I'm interested in my parents' lives, especially before I was born, and especially like in my young year, like when I was young. I want to picture my dad and my mom at like, what were they like when they were 36, when I was like 5 years old. I just think that's so interesting, and I like that. So that's the writing. The second thing, sewing. I've been following a couple sewing YouTubers for years now. I will link them in the description. One of them is With Wendy. I love her so much. The other one is Lydia Naomi. She makes incredible patterns. Another one is Pattern Scout. Also, she makes incredible patterns. And I've always had a latent interest in sewing. I started making a quilt with my grandma when I was 12 out of old t-shirts, and I didn't get very far with it because my grandma, turns out, hated sewing because she had a terrible sewing instructor when she was like 12. And so she didn't really want to like teach me, so I was like kind of on my own there. But I've always had an interest in it, and the reason I've had an interest in it is mainly because I have a specific body type that is hard to find clothes, and so I want to make my own clothes. Not only for the style and the design and the creative expression, but also clothes that fit me well and that I don't have to tailor or alter or anything. So for example, like on top, I have broad shoulders. And I love my body, so let's just put that out there. I love my body and I love how I look. But the dimensions and the proportions sometimes can be challenging, especially buying for like dresses, because I broad shoulders, kind of fleshy arms. In the kibe world, I'm a soft natural, I guess. I do know. I'm a soft natural. I have a teeny tiny waist, which honestly saves me. I do have an hourglass figure. I'm so sorry. I'm actually not sorry. I love my body. So I need to stop saying I'm sorry. Women need to stop apologizing for literally existing. Why do I keep saying that? Catch me, please, whenever I start saying that. I have a teeny tiny waist, and then I have a big old hips and a big old butt and big old thighs and like stocky little short legs and a long torso. And it's like I'm a 6 on top, 6 to 8 on top, 12 to 14 on bottom. Finding a dress is impossible unless it's like not well fitted or just pure knit stretch, I'm really interested in fabrics, natural fibers. There are so many. So polyester is plastic fabric. And if you look at a fabric tag for new clothes these days, a lot of it's going to be polyester. Polyester is one of the chief contributors of microplastics. And that's gross. That I'm not okay with. I'm not okay with it. I'm not okay with small plastic fibers being in my body, okay? It makes me think of like Osmosis Jones, that one movie. Like what would the cells be like? They'd be like, oh yeah, we got to get these plastic fibers out. And it's just like these inanimate like things like in the body with them. And they're like, what the hell is this? What is our human doing? It's like so weird. Going back on the nature stuff, I just love nature. I love explaining things. My family has some land in West Virginia, just like acres and acres of woods, and I just walk around in the woods by myself all the time, and I have these little specific places where there's like certain orchids that bloom, like pink lady slipper orchids. I know of 2 groves on my parents' farm, their land, that bloom in May, every May. So I always visit those 2 groves. The mountain laurel flowers I think are so cool. There's just so many things that I would love to explore. So nature, and then also my shrimp tank. Making, you know, my kids keep asking for a dog, and I'm like, you guys, I can't deal with a 3rd child right now. I'm so sorry. I would love to get a dog, but they're like human children. And I know people get offended when I say that. Yes, I'm not saying it's an actual human child, but I am saying that puppies are very similar to young babies. Okay? Like, they poop in the house, they pee in the house, they need to get their exercise, they need to take naps. You know, like, it requires a lot of work to appropriately train a puppy, and a lot of time and attention and love and care. And I want to be able to do that. I just can't do it right now. So I compromised with my kids. I was like, we can have shrimps. Not even fish. We're gonna have shrimp tank. And it's a fully enclosed ecosystem. I'm definitely gonna be posting about it. I have a couple shorts on it already. But it's a fully enclosed ecosystem, and I just think that's the coolest thing in the world, because there's no CO2 pump, there's no filter. It's just the shrimps, you know, exhale carbon dioxide, breathe in oxygen. The plants take in CO2, breathe out oxygen, and like, it's just kind of a fully enclosed ecosystem, a cycle. And I don't have to feed the shrimps if I don't want to. I do try to feed them shrimpy party food once, maybe like every other day. But if I go out of town, there's plenty of food in there for them to eat. And it's kind of become a really interesting ecosystem, because there's all kinds of like these worms in there. And actually I think they're like annelid worms. I'm not quite sure what they are, but there's a lot of worms. There's a lot of Daphnia, the water fleas. But that's just another one of my things that I want to do on this, explore on this YouTube channel. I mean, those are really, oh, and then the last one that I'll probably post about is politics. And yeah, I know it sucks, but politics are important, unfortunately. They do define like how we live our lives, you know? And what's going on right now is just like so upsetting. And so I'll try to keep it on the DL, you know, because like it just gets me down. But I do believe that we should have a functioning democratic government. I don't think that should be insane to say. And I do think that we should have politicians who maintain their integrity. I don't think that's insane to say, you know. I do think that we shouldn't defend pedophiles and rapists. That shouldn't be insane to say either. So I am going to be talking about politics, especially when it's really important. I worked in congressional affairs for a government agency for 8 years, so I know some, you know, I'm not stupid about it. I would say I probably know more than the average person, but I definitely don't, I'm not an expert, you know. But yeah, so I'll talk about politics some. So those are the big ones: writing, sewing, nature, politics. I think that's the gamut, you know. And, you know, there might be other videos of me just doing random stuff. But I told them I was starting a YouTube channel, and they were like, oh, you got to get down to a niche. You need a niche. And I was like, do I? And they were like, yeah, if you want it to be successful, you really need a niche. And I was like, I don't want to do that. I'm not going to do that. Because I'd love for it to be successful, but if it's not, I don't care. I don't care. Like, I just want to do this to prove to myself that I can do something I've been thinking about forever, and that it's a creative outlet, and that I'm just going to have fun with it. And it's just who I am. I am a hobby queen. I'm a hobby queen, okay? I love my hobbies. I have a lot of hobbies. I'm always busy. I honestly rarely watch TV anymore, because between taking care of my kids and doing all my hobbies and like, you know, all kinds of stuff, I just don't enjoy watching TV as much anymore. But oh, I want to talk about astrology just for a little bit though. The first disclaimer I'm going to say about me talking about astrology is if you are not an astrology person, that's totally cool. I'm not asking you to be one. I think that's totally fine. And maybe just like, you can X out of this. You can just like navigate away from this video at this point. And that's totally fine. And truly, I have no ill will. But I enjoy astrology. I think it's fun and interesting, and it's a pattern recognition thing. And really, it's just like a series of metaphors for understanding yourself and your life. And I don't think it's insane to say, even under like classical mechanics, I don't think it's insane that like the planets would have, like, for example, how the moon has a gravitational pull on the earth and how it creates the tides because of the gravitational pull, and how like we're mostly made of water anyways, and how like emergency rooms become so booked during the full moon, and more babies are born during full moons than any other times. And I just don't think that that's insane that these like huge planets with huge gravitational pulls have some sort of microscopic level of influence on people who are born in certain times of year. I don't think that's insane to say. But even after, if you get past classical mechanics, quantum physics means it's entirely plausible that astrology is real, because quantum physics is so insane when you get down into it, like quantum entanglement. And I don't even know. I would say like, I know like a surface layer of quantum mechanics. I know there's so much to know. I am not saying I'm an expert at all, but like from things I've read, I just think that it's entirely plausible that astrology is real, especially when you get down into quantum mechanics. All to say, my birth chart like really guides me, and I just find it's fun, People who like astrology, other people who are skeptics, okay, one, I think skepticism is simply the absence of experience. And so if you're a skeptic about something, try to experience it first, try to get into it. And if you are still a skeptic, okay, cool, that's fine. But like, if you really get down into it and start researching and learning about it, I think some skepticism would fall away. I really do think skepticism is just the absence of experience. And I lost my train of thought. Let's pause while I try to get it back. My birth chart. It just really guides me. So I know it off the top of my head. So I'm going to go through it really quick. Any astrology girlies, any insight you have, please put it in the comments. I love it. I will talk to you about it for hours and hours and hours. I love learning about other people's too. So my big three, I'm an Aries sun in the 6th house, Leo moon in the 10th house. Why do you think I want to start a YouTube channel? Because on some level, I was born to be seen, babes. Like, I am supposed to be seen. It's where my comfort zone is. I'm a Leo moon in the 10th house. I'm supposed to make a YouTube channel. It's literally what I was born for, Anyways, Leo moon in the 10th house. That's probably my favorite placement. Scorpio rising. In my first house and Scorpio, I have Scorpio rising, Jupiter, Pluto, and my north node. Second house, I have nothing. Third house, I have a conjunction with Uranus and Neptune, which is a cool placement because it only happens, every 170 something years. And so I was in that early 90s millennial grouping where that happened. And I think that's super cool. Fourth house is empty. Fifth house, I have a Pisces stellium with Mars, Mercury, and Saturn. Yeah, I know. Sun and Venus in the 6th house. In the 7th house is Taurus, so my south node. 8th and 9th are empty. Leo moon in 10th. My midheaven is also in the 10th in Leo. 11th house is empty. 11th house has my Chiron in Virgo. Yeah, and then in an empty 12th house in Libra. Yeah, anyways, love astrology. Wow, so that's kind of all I have. Thank you if you've actually stayed this long. Thank you. Thank you for joining me and painting my nails and letting me talk. I promise most of my videos will be... Actually, I'm not promising anything. Sorry. But I'm just going to use this YouTube channel as a creative outlet, and that's kind of all I want to do with it. And if people like it, awesome. If not, totally fine. But I'm going to do it no matter what, because that makes my soul happy. And I think that's really all we should be pursuing in this lifetime. So thank you so much. I am going to end every video with a quote because I'm really a quote girly and I love quotes. So this next quote is going to be a quote from Big Magic by Elizabeth Gilbert. Please go read her book. If you're interested in creativity at all, go read it. It will set you free. Okay? Okay, see you next time. Thank you.